Good afternoon, friends, fellow earthlings, and interplanetary travelers who may be picking up this signal. This is Kerry from the Schmidt House, and we have another exciting and much anticipated video that I'm working on. It's going to be a cooking video today. I had not planned on making a video. I was starting to get supper ready earlier and getting everything together. I thought, might as well go ahead and video it. So if it turns out, you'll see this video. If it doesn't, you'll never see it. But I know it's going to turn out because I've made this several times. It's basically just I call it a potato casserole, my own twist, variation. Seems like every time I cook something, it's a little different. Got all the ingredients here. Got some potatoes. There's probably 4 pretty good sized potatoes cubed up. 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch cubes. Some a little bigger, some a little smaller. Best to get them all the same, but I never do. But they all seem to work pretty good. Got about 1.5 pounds of ground meat. We always buy our ground meat in those sleeves at our local HEB in 5-pound packages, and we'll cut them up into 3 pieces. And that leaves us pretty much a good chunk of meat for a meal. Got some onions, cornstarch, pepper, garlic powder, salt, cream of mushroom, some pinto beans that I've never added before in it, but I'm gonna do that. Got milk. Of course, I got my sweet tea and Jim Beam over here with a little bit of lemon in there. That helps me with my cooking. Comes out a little better. Tastes better to me anyway. We're going to start off by heating up our pan a little bit. I don't put any oil in there because it's pretty lean beef, and it'll make its own juice. And then I'll throw my ground beef in there, which is still a little bit frozen. It was in the freezer, but it'll thaw out in this pan. Chop it up a little bit. As it cooks, chop it up a little more. But I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper right away. Just do it to taste. Probably a teaspoon salt. Maybe a little more. Whatever you like. The potatoes usually soak up a lot of salt. I like to put a little salt on that, quite a bit. Pepper. Growing up when I was a kid, I never had this. My mom never made this. She made something else. We called it Schmidt chili. We were pretty poor. I guess it was kind of a Depression era thing that she would make, that she learned from her mother-in-law. That's why we called it Schmidt chili. And basically, it was just browning some meat. Whatever you had, use the ground meat, but we usually had ground venison, deer meat. So we had a place to hunt deer, so we'd have some deer meat. But you could use rabbit, squirrel, whatever, but beef. We ground some of that up, probably about 1 pound. Brown it up. Put some onions in it, probably half an onion chopped up. And my mom would just put water in it, or she would put potatoes, chop up a bunch of potatoes just like I've got here, dump it in there, and then put water just enough to cover the potatoes. Put a lid on it. When the potatoes were done, that was supper. So it was nothing fancy, no garlic, salt, no nothing like that, just regular regular salt and pepper. That's all we had. But I remember it being pretty good. I've made it a few times. Just doesn't seem to taste as good as my mom's did. I think that's par for the course, though. It never tastes as good as Mama's cooking. I believe on that Oma Schmidt chili, once you put the water in it over the potatoes, she would cover it, and that would get those potatoes cooked a little quicker. I like to, if I make it, I like to add a little cornstarch or flour in with the gravy, or to make a little with the drippings, to make a little bit of a gravy. It just tastes a little better. But my mom never did that. Say we didn't have much growing up. In fact, I tell people, and this is a true story, I can't remember how many times, and I'd say it was a couple of times a week, we'd go to bed just taking a piece of bread, put some ketchup on it, ketchup sandwich. If we didn't have ketchup, we used mustard, put some mustard and salt and pepper on a piece of bread. That would be our supper. I swear my kids would never have to eat that kind of stuff. But I thought it was pretty good at the time. You know, it's amazing when you're hungry how good things taste. I have a lot of fat in it, and I'll drain some of that off later. But I want to keep some, make a little bit of a gravy in there. Of course, I'm going to add milk to help with that, to thicken it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add the onions. Let them start cooking up. That's probably one onion. I think that was one onion. Actually, it was a real big onion, so it was probably 3/4 of a big onion. Probably one medium onion. I like a lot of onion, so that's a lot of onion in there. And I'm going to dump some garlic powder in here also at this point. Maybe a teaspoonful, maybe. You know, one of the reasons we started our little YouTube channel wasn't really to share everything with the public. That's not what was the intention. It was basically for us to kind of save stuff and have a record of what we do and how we live, and that our grandkids could look at someday, or kids or grandkids. I wish my grandparents were still here so I could go back and ask them a bunch of things that interest me today that didn't interest me when they were alive, you know. So maybe they'll be interested in this stuff someday. They can go back and look. We do keep copies of all these videos. Not all of them that we put on Facebook or YouTube. I mean, of course, we did start a Schmidt House Facebook, so go to Facebook, search the Schmidt House, and kind of everything that we put on here, we also put on there. Not everything, but so I'm going to turn this on now. Start boiling. Now the potatoes, we don't want to get them completely done. We want to just get them partially done, and then we'll dump the water out, run cold water over them to stop the cooking process. Then to where later when we put it in the casserole in the oven, it'll finish cooking then, and it won't be overcooked. If we cook them all the way now at this point, they'll get mushy in the casserole. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and put a tablespoon this cornstarch. Pretty stout tablespoon of it. You know what? I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to put this cornstarch in a cup of water first. Also, I'm going to drain a little bit of this liquid off here first. Not much of it, just a little bit. Let that cook a couple of minutes. Stirring it. See how thick that's getting? It's looking good. Good enough. Dump our milk in there. Stir it in real well. And let that kind of simmer a little bit, a few minutes. Yeah, that cold milk kind of kills the temperature. Maybe I should have heated it up a little bit first. Heat that milk up a little bit. Might work better. And I've been doing this all on about medium heat. Smelling really good. Takes a little time to prepare this, but all in all, it's pretty easy and it's very much worth it. And if you like it so far, man, don't forget, hit that like button. Might as well do it right now. Make me feel good about what I'm doing. Not only that, try it. Try this recipe out. Let me know how it turns out for you. Give me a comment on that. That would be fantabulous. If you're a fellow Earthling or you're just interplanetary traveler picking up this message, I don't know how you folks cook. But let me know. It's the same here as it is on Pluto. Turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to add the cream of mushroom. 1 can of cream of mushroom. If you don't like cream of mushroom, you don't need to add it. I mean, you add cream of chicken. Just something to thicken it up. You want it to be fairly thick. Now I'm going to open up a can of pinto beans. I'm going to put a can of pinto beans in here. And I've never done it with pinto beans before, but I'll try it. One of the nice things about cooking is you can do whatever you want to do or what you don't want to do. Just use what you have, you know. It's all good. What I'd like to try, and I think it'd be really good instead of using the pinto beans, is putting a can of corn in there. But I didn't have any corn. I had beans, so that's what I'm using. Actually, so Bush's pinto beans with bacon. And these Bush's beans are really good for canned beans. I really like them. You know, if you ever seen that commercial, you see that dog likes them too. But he's never told me the recipe, so. Okay, we'll just stir this all together. And this part's pretty much done. I'll just let that simmer a few minutes and then that's done. Now we're just waiting on the potatoes. I should have put them on a little bit sooner, I guess, but that'll be okay. Through the magic of editing, we can fix that. Or Andrea can. She's the editor in our production company, Schmidt House Productions. Got our baking dish here. Supposed to butter it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to spray some of this olive oil stuff on it. Cooking oil. That should be good enough. Go ahead and turn our oven on. Get the oven turned on to $3.75. That's off. That's good enough. I wasn't sure about putting the beans in there, but I think it's going to be all right.
Hi.
Boop. Got the PJs on.
Yep.
She wore them to school today. It was pajama day. When I cook, I make a huge mess. I got stuff everywhere, but that's okay because I do the cooking and Mama does the cleaning.
Yep.
And what does Harmony do?
Making the messes.
Yep, perfect. So what I've got here, besides a giant mess, got my meat mixture, got my greased baking dish, got the potatoes, and when I took them off, I ran some cold water over them to get the cooking process to stop. Okay, that's something I can never get right. Either they're not done enough or they're too done. So you got to stop that cooking process, get them out of the hot water, because they'll cook in the baking dish. And I also have cheese. So what I'm going to do is put a layer of half of the potatoes in the bottom of this, then a layer of the meat mixture, and then a layer of cheese. Then the rest of the potatoes on top of that, another layer of meat mixture, and another layer of cheese, and then put it in the oven. And I'll probably usually have a little meat left over, and we'll just put that in the refrigerator and eat that. It's really good on bread. Just take a piece of bread, put that stuff on there. It's great. Have that for a quick lunch or something tomorrow. But we'll put this in the oven, 375, probably about 30 minutes, and then it should be good to go. We'll see how that all turns out. I'll let you know. Put a good layer of cheese on here. I think it actually calls for like a pound. You're supposed to put a half a pound on this layer, and then a half a pound on the top. But that's what seems to work best for me. But I had this leftover stuff. I don't know how much is in it. Up our other bag here. Having trouble getting it open. Probably not enough bourbon and sweet tea yet. You know, we drink enough of that, everything works really good. I joke around a lot. I don't drink that much. For years I didn't drink anything at all. And I had a very stressful job. And that's when I started drinking a little bit. Just at the end of the day, have a drink, one or two. Take the edge off. Now that I'm retired, I'm still doing it. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, I'm going to put that in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, whatever looks good. And when I get it out, we'll cut into it and see what it looks like. All right. Well, it's been cooking in the oven about 35 minutes. We're going to pull it out and see what it looks like. Actually, I can see it already. It's looking good.
Yep, it looks delicious.
It's very hot.
No.
Just stay back, girl.
No. Don't want to burn myself. Oh, that looks yummy.
So we're just going to let it set there about 5 or 10 minutes, let it kind of calm down, cool down just a little bit, and we'll plate some up and see what it tastes like. But I know it's going to taste amazing.
Guys, this is a fact of the week. We haven't done this, but this is the first time we're doing it. The fact of the week is, if you see a fire, don't play with it. If you see it, ask an adult to put it out or call 911 if you know the phone number. The phone number to 911 is 911. Thanks. Hi guys. We're setting the plates up to eat.
Yeah, but first I'm gonna plate a piece of this, cut into it so we can see what it looks like. I might make a little bit of a mess here, but
That's okay. We can clean it back up.
Harmony says it's okay.
Everybody makes mistakes once in their life.
Well, I make more than once in my life.
Some people make more, some people make less. That looks yummy. Is it yummy?
Very good, very good. Anyway, if you like this video and think this is something you might want to make, or if you just hit that like button, subscribe. We'll be coming up with more of these videos as I cook different things. Have a great day. Thank you.